This is not good.
Welcome to a live episode of Halftime Adjustments. It's your host, Eddie Arnell, my man, Mr. J. Lou, Mr. G. What's going on, fellas?
Tighten up, baby.
Tighten up, man. We are live here this week to discuss the Titans' victory over the Texans today. So, guys, the Titans coming in this week at 4-2 winners of 4 straight. A top 10 defense, man, which was playing lights out against the run. You know, we were getting better against the pass. The secondary is looking better each week. And Mr. Malik Willis, guys, is getting his first NFL start today. So, you know, at least we talked about before the game is that at least meant 25 to 30 carries for the beast. and so y'all knew that it was going to be interesting coming into this game. And so Titans 17, Texans 10, scoring late in the game during garbage time, I would say. And so, J. Lou, let's talk about your first assessment of Mr. Malik today.
I thought Malik looked like a rookie. You could tell he had some improvements. We kept saying if there was a game we didn't mind him starting, it was a game like today, where you knew you were going against the worst rush defense in the league. You got Deuce in that backfield and Hillard, so you knew you were going. Henry was close to my prediction. I said 39 carries. He was 32. So I mean, we ran the ball 45 times as a unit. He had. I'm sure when he looked at the film on the flight back home, he missed a touchdown pass. That pass to Chig on the play action because they had been biting. Yeah. That's a touchdown. But again, you know, when he only threw the ball 10 times, 6 of 10 with the one interception, which was just, I think the interception was you looking at your read, and the ball was a little behind. But again, he got to get in a regular season game, in a meaningful game. All the fans who are clamoring for Malik to start, you hope that Tannehill's healthy for another year, because I still think that you're probably a year away from wanting to see Malik. To me, this when you picked him, you go into this pick knowing that he's going to be your starting. You hope he's your starting QB on year 3 of his contract. I think you get this year out of Tannehill, and I think Tannehill can give you one more if you strip that offensive line, and then you bring Malik along. But you know, the greatest thing, and again, Adam Archuleta was talking about it on the broadcast. When you look at the win column, he got a win beside his name. But I think overall, man, this was the easiest game plan for Todd Downing to call, and he still found almost a way to blow that. But I mean, they went into halftime, and I think we threw the ball twice if in the second half, maybe. So and again, that's, you know, it punch him down the mouth. But I think overall, man, you like that Malik got some mean. This wasn't preseason. He got some live action, live reps that who knows that can pay dividends going down in the season.
G. Witt, talk to us about your first assessment of Mr. Willis today.
Well, I have to concur with Brother J. Lou. It was definitely he's a rookie, and you saw all the aspects of that in the game. Going back to that, what J. Lou was talking about, that touchdown pass to Chig that he missed, man, he put it like this: even by throwing the ball late, if he just uses the correct form in throwing,
yes,
it was going to at least be down inside the 5. Right. You know, he is typical rookie. You could tell. Let's just be honest about it. He was excited, therefore he wasn't using his feet properly. All his technique went out the window. Mm-hmm. Every last bit of it went out the window. So he's the type of guy that's got some learning. He's got to learn to settle down. Really, I was concerned when I saw a video of him coming in, you know, and him walking down the field smiling with his phone, taking pictures and everything. I'm like, man, it doesn't look good for you. But
right.
I would say this. Now, to be totally honest, overall, once they settled down, once Todd Downing settled down with what his play calling and everything, you saw Malik. He handled everything. You know, he handled it. The thing about it is, you know, right now he's not ready to throw the ball in the NFL. The interception, he threw it very late. If he throws it out in front with Cody Hollister, that's a catch. The pass he threw to Robert Woods.
Oh yeah.
You know, if he gets that out earlier, Robert Woods has a better chance of getting extra yards. He made some yards out of it, but he could have got more. It's just one of those things where you see him as a rookie, and his fundamentals just went totally out the window. But overall, you have to say he managed the game well. He did, other than that interception, he really didn't do anything wrong as far as turning the ball over. He just missed some passes and everything. It was just a good overall game for the King, for Hilliard, and for the Titans defense, which is what we expected to happen.
Yeah, right. And so just, and I agree with all the points you guys made. First assessment for Malik. Again, you could tell he's a rookie. He's real raw. His technique, his footwork, his throwing motion. So, you know, he's not ready. Like you said, Jay Lou, we've been preaching that since preseason, that he's not ready. You would hope he'd be ready, like you said, year 2, year 3 tops, and to take over this franchise. You know, I like the way the offensive line blocked, minus Dennis Daly. We'll talk about him in just a minute. But
do we have to?
Right. We got to, because it's a problem out there. But you knew the King was gonna eat, man. 4 straight games now against the Texans with over 200 yards rushing. He's got 6 in his career, and so I mean, just another day, man. We've been saying this since he's been back this year, especially last home game in G-Wit. I was telling G-Wit, I said, man, he is primed for a big time run, and we saw a bunch of big runs for him today, which was a great thing to see. And so, you know, Malik, he's a rookie. He's not ready. And we saw that. I do think, though, and I'm going to roll into our next topic, is the Todd Downing's performance today. I do think Todd could have done some other things to help him. Where were the bootlegs at? What was moving the pocket?
Yeah.
What was those things at? You know what I mean? And so, although I thought Todd did okay in his play calling, considering, you know, what we had on the center today, I just thought he could have done a better job with Malik and getting him better opportunities. And so, we talk about the O-line, man. Let's talk about the O-line, because I thought Dylan had a chance today to play left tackle, but we didn't see Dylan at all today. But Nate Davis, he brought it today. You could tell he was back.
You could tell he was back.
The offensive line, the run game was good, but let's talk about the O-line,
Well, let's just be honest about this O-line. In all honesty, we've said it over the past few weeks. They're a run blocking O-line. You know, Dennis Daly. He's not good at run blocking, but he's adequate. I'm going to say Brewer is turning out. Unfortunately, I think what the Daly's play is rubbing off on Brewer, because he's becoming more adequate. That left side of the offensive line is like a 180 from where it's been over the past few years with Roger Saffold and Taylor Lewan. From the center to the right, hey, Nate Davis coming back in was huge. I thought he really set the tone with the run game and everything, and I thought he really helped out NPF quite a bit. And you saw the run blocking on that side be a lot better, as well as the pass blocking. But overall, man, I was saying today that, you know, one of the things, J-Rob, I know, you know, it's too early to be talking about next season, but he has got to go find some legitimate offensive lineman, a legitimate left tackle if you ain't bringing Lewan back, which I don't think he is, and you got to go find you a legitimate left guard, because what you have right now really is not functioning well. And other than Ben Jones and Nate Davis, and NPF being a rookie is playing well. I have no knocks against him. He's a rookie. Right. So you're going to see those mistakes from him. But overall, they are pleased with his play. But that left side leaves a lot to be desired. As we stated before in pass blocking, Dennis Daly is just a turnstile, you know, and you saw the epitome of that on one of the first pass plays. The guy just did a spin move and just left him. I'm like, this joker has no feet. He has no technique. No. Really, the only thing he can do is run blocking. He only does that adequately. So this O-line is I would say we're going to be hard pressed to really, when we go against some good defenses, to really be able to do anything, because everybody knows you got to, especially after the day, they know you got to stop the King, and they're going to do the same thing the coach did: 5-man fronts, 3 linebackers, and when you send a receiver in motion to come towards the line, that's 9 men in the box, and that's what the King is going to be seeing going forward. I can guarantee it.
Right. And let's just hope Tannehill is healthy and be back for next week's game. But J. Lou, man, we talking about this during the game, man. The run game was eating, though. You had 32 carries for the King, and Hilliard almost had 100 yards himself. So
Yes,
he would
have had 100 had we not gotten to them putting it. What they had 10 men in the box, and we just couldn't block 10. But this O line, again, I've seen J-Rob does things that unorthodox. This is a week where you've got to mortgage the future because you're doing terrible at draft picking anyway. And I think you go at least attempt to get that tackle from Philly. Dillard, I think is his name.
Mm-hmm.
He's on a rookie contract. I think you look for that because I feel like it's easier to plug a guard in if you're good at tackle. I think Brewer is struggling so much right now because our tackle's trash.
Yes.
And I was going to call that he's trash. I mean, if Taylor's in there, maybe Brewer's holding up a little bit better. But that whole side, it's just. And again, you can't say enough for what you might have hit on NPF. Quiet as it's kept, he's putting together a very decent rookie campaign.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So, and again, that's nothing but live reps and experience for him. So this, everybody wants the team to go get a wide receiver. And I kind of say, I can see them hitting the brakes a little bit on that because as they kept pointing out on the broadcast, you got 3 wide receivers minimum on IR. So if you get Racy back, you get the Rook back, and maybe you get those weapons back. It don't matter who you got out there catching. AJ Brown can't catch passes behind this offensive line because the quarterback has no time. So the Tuesday is the deadline. Yeah, the November 1st. November 1st is the deadline. So you're hoping that he makes a call tomorrow because I just don't see us surviving. As G Whip pointed out. After today, you played a team today that is dead last in the run, and they knew you were going to run the ball with a rookie, and they couldn't stop it. Not everybody in the league is the Texans.
That's right.
You're going to see other teams be able to stop the run. And again, when your offense is built on the explosive plays in the run game, that will run out. So we've got to do something to shore up that offensive line. But great to see Nate Davis. Well, that was the first thing we chatted about this morning. When I saw the inactives come down and didn't see him on there, you were glad to see him shore that line up because he picked right up where he left off.
He did.
Blocking today. So, but we've got to make a move, man, because that Tannehill won't stay healthy. Malik won't stay healthy if you don't shore up that left side. And that's your blind side.
That's your blind side. And I mean, I guess, like you said, since Taylor is gone, it's so apparent that Aaron Brewer, it really wasn't an eyesore last season. You think about it, he played. It wasn't an eyesore that he was that weak against the run game and against the pass game. Well, actually, he blocks pretty decent on the run. It's just his pass protection. And so, I agree with you both, man. It's going to take a lot, especially with the Green Mile coming up here in the next 4 weeks. This is going to be very interesting with this offensive line. And so, give a good get a game ball to the King today, man. With 200 yards again, he surpasses Eddie George in franchise history with the most touchdowns. And so, 75, man. And I mean, you can't say enough about the King. And I see we got Will out there in the chat, man, and K. Lou, man. What's going on, fellas? Thank y'all for joining us tonight. Let's talk about this defense, J. Lou, because another dominant performance. Let me say this real quick though. 354 yards of total offense for the Titans today, and of course, the majority of that was rushing. 314. That's the most in the NFL by a team this season so far. And so, it's going to be interesting to see as we go down the stretch these next 4 weeks. And so now the defense, man. I mean, you think about it. Like I said, the garbage touchdown at the end. They playing that soft prevent umbrella coverage. I really didn't like that at the end. And so I was over here mad, man.
I ain't gonna even call it much soft coverage as I'm gonna call it. Kevin Byard went back to 2020 Byard.
Yeah.
Like he had 2 opportunities on that drive to at least get a pick, and I'll tell you this, that's going to be replayed on the plane ride home because this defense was mad that they didn't have the shutout and then they gave up the garbage touchdown. But you take that away and as quiet as it's kept, this team might be in the top 3 against the run. Now you take Saquon's yards away and they barely give it up 60 yards a game. So you had the number 6 rusher in the league, and the rookie's having a good year, good season.
Oh yeah,
15 carries for 35 with 1 long of 16. And it ain't like that the Texans just stopped running. They had no choice
Right.
because Big Jeff, Brinks Truck Jeff is what I like to call him now.
Cha-ching, did I hear
Yeah.
the name? Cha-ching.
Yeah, cha-ching. Brinks Truck Jeff, Pop Tart. You saw Big Merch get some playing time, man. Walker, that you go down that D line, and it all starts with Bud Dupree. When Bud's playing and he's allowing the other three to do what they want to do, Archery is quietly having a Pro Bowl type year.
Absolutely.
Quietly having one. So that front four, man, when you can get pressure with the front four, it allows you to be able to do things on the back end. Now you're hoping, we talk about defense. I'm hoping that Hooker isn't major. I know it was a shoulder. He came out when it came back out. So you need him next week because him being out there allows you just to do a lot of things different on that back end. And you've got we'll talk about it later on, but you've got an army coming in that you got to go to next week with weapons. But Lonnie Johnson, you saw him get some playing time, and Adams. This guy Adams fits this defense. I mean, another fine off of a practice squad, and he's coming in and balling. So I thought the tackling was sound today.
Yes.
I didn't think that Cunningham played bad. Now I feel like they had him on a pitch count a little bit because you saw them mix in Cole a lot more. And I thought David Long, you could tell that the mindset of this defense is you're not running the ball on us. After that week one, and it goes from the front set to the linebackers and all, because they were filling the holes. They were getting gaps. I mean, if they were arm tackling him in the backfield and he's getting away, he ain't going far because everybody was pursuing to the ball, man. So, and again, you got to see Roger a little bit move back to the outside that we've been screaming at. And quiet as it's kept the last 2 weeks. And again, you look at the quarterback play, who cares? Because David Mills lit him up last year, and then they had some weapons that he could throw to today, but Fulton and Roger are quietly becoming a great 1-2 combo on the outside. And it just makes it that much deadlier when we can get Molden back on the field for what we can do at the slot. But overall, man, outside of the guard, again, Vrabel's going to use the garbage time. He even said it in his post-game conference. When he went to the post-game conference, he talked about the defense, and the only thing he talked about was the last drive. But that's motivation for this D, and they're going to have to hear all week that they can't stop Patrick Mahomes and this team coming in that they got to go see next week. So it's just good to see that defense clicking on all cylinders, especially with whoever they can rotate in that front four.
Yeah. Right. And he went to 161 total yards given up today, man. And like we said, Pierce is not a slouch. He's number 6 in the NFL. He might be the offensive rookie of the year. You just don't know, but they held him to 35 yards, G-Whit, man. So talk about it, because I know you enjoyed it like I did.
Man, look, the play of the day for me happened in the second quarter. When the running back for Houston was getting the ball, and Big Jeff took the center.
Made the tackle with the center.
Right. And I know the running back was like, what the heck happened? I mean, but and here's the thing about it. You heard, and I couldn't tell you, I forgot who's announcing the game and everything, but you heard him say, he said, man, when you got him like that, there's nothing you can do. He said, and he was talking about that defensive line. He was getting them all kinds of kudos. He said, he rightly so, it begins with Brinks Truck Jeff.
Yes.
Because they said when he's on, he said, if you double team him, he's just going to stonewall you. And he said, and if you try to block him one-on-one, he's going to take you into the backfield. Yeah. And I mean, that defensive front was just phenomenal today. And the linebackers, David Long Jr., I thought, did a fantastic job. He was shooting the gap, missed a couple, but he definitely closed a lot of holes up and everything. I thought Cole played a good game. And like you said, J. Lou, Quaz has kept Christian Fulton and McCreary. Yeah. Put it like this. It's funny when you hear the announcers that they keep going testing McCreary. I mean, Fulton.
Right.
Yeah, I don't understand why. He's not giving you anything.
No.
And that's what you want to hear.
Right.
That's really what you want to hear. Hopefully Hooker's going to be okay. It's just a mild shoulder sprain or whatever the case may be. I saw him come back in the game, but really, I thought Adams is playing good. I think Adams is playing good simply because Hooker is there and his responsibilities are limited. So, and he handles those well.
And he's a good tackler.
He is a great tackler.
He's a great tackler. And that's the thing you like about him. He comes up and lays the wood, man. But overall, I agree with you. Bud Dupree being in this lineup changes the whole dynamic for everything because Bud Dupree is also a player that you cannot block one-on-one.
No.
You can't block him one-on-one. So you got to chip him with a running back, and generally he's running free. That frees up everybody else. You pick your poison. Again, I just like the linebacker play. I thought they tackled well. I thought they attacked well. Jay Lou, I told you, man. I told you. I said 2 minutes left to go, and I knew what was going to happen.
You did. You knew it.
I knew it.
You knew what was coming. You knew what was coming.
I knew what was coming. I was like, man, they're going to play the soft defense. They're going to go right down the field and doggone it they did. But yeah, you're right, though. They're going to be using that Shane Bowen and the whole defensive staff is going to be using that. Like, dude, you can't not. We had a shutout. You know,
Yes.
Right.
I mean, the 3 points, you figure they had point blank range on that, and they ended up only kicking a field goal.
Uh-huh.
You know, point blank range. So you pitching a shutout. You know, and because they gave the ball up in plus
In the red
territory.
zone.
So you pitching a shutout, and all of a sudden you're gonna give up a long touchdown inside the last 2 minutes. That's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, Terrence Mitchell.
Especially when you have them like what third and 9 or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
You weren't supposed to be doing that. But of that aside, let's just be honest about it. This defense, we said it going in. I thought having Big Jeff ready to play today was really important, especially going into attacking the run game. And I think you see his value there. And I think for him, that's going to be the whole case. They'll dock on his ankle again this week. He may not practice. He may be limited in practice all week, but they're like, you can be limited. You still gonna come out and play because they're really had a hunger for him. And like you said, J. Rob, one, he needs to go ahead and get a tackle, but also he needs to be prepared. Tell Miss Amy, we got to sign him. We got to pay him.
You got to pay him.
We got to pay him. You know, you got to pay him. You know, he truly there's not a defensive tackle record have it like him other than Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
But so let me say this too, because I'm surprised, Jay Lou. I'm surprised you didn't talk more about Pop-Tart. Pop-Tart is actually balling, man. Pop-Tart is balling. I don't know if y'all seeing it, man, but Pop-Tart is balling. He's in the backfield too. He's pressuring the quarterback. He's running to the ball. And so, man, you gotta like this front. And again, it starts with Jeffrey Simmons and Bud Dupree being on the field at the same time as the Nico Archer. And like you said, Jay Lou, the depth today, man, you saw it. They brought in other guys. They were still getting pressure. Now, I agree with you, Virgil. Virgil said Houston's a poor measurement stick. I agree 100%. But when you can shut down an NFL offense and restrict their number 6 running back, number 6 in the league now. This is in the league for a team of this caliber. Number 6. And when you can shut them down on 15 carries, holding 35 yards, I mean, that says a lot.
And we say poor measuring stick, I agree, but the Titans of the past, and even if you look back to last year, same trash Houston team should have beat them twice.
Mm-hmm.
So we know how when it's a divisional game, you throw the records out.
Yeah,
measuring stick or not, you got to throw those out.
And again, I say this every year. You try to explain this to people. It's a professional football team.
Yeah.
If you don't go in there and play your best game, you will get beat. You know, you can say they're a poor measurement stick all you want to. Yeah, that offense stinks. Davis Mills is not doing well. That offensive line is not that great. But that offensive line is doing something when you got the number 6 rusher in the league.
Yeah.
So, you know, it ain't just a running back. The offensive line is blocking. And for a defense to go in there and shut down another top rusher to just 35 yards after shutting down Jonathan Taylor twice.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now. Yeah, you shut down the Commanders.
Only one game
on their running game.
Yeah.
So now I understand you looking at their record and talking about their poor measuring stick, but the bottom line is they've been in every game they played until today.
You know, and it's since Saquon, you know, nobody else has done anything against the Titans. And so,
you know, and the one thing, my bad, Ed, didn't mean to cut you off, but one thing about Pierce that's this quiet is kept. He's number 2 in the league in forcing missed tackles.
Yeah.
And this team got him on the ground today. So again, that's the run game was a measuring stick. This was top notch. G. Widge just pointed out. You went from Jonathan Taylor to Pierce back to back, really in twice in a 4-week span, and you take away the first game of the year and nobody's running on this team. We you know, when you look, and this is why I was hoping, I was joking about keeping their yards low, because you want to see that come down. That's what the total defense stat is, but
that's right.
That's why we're giving up 300 plus yards of passing, because nobody can run the ball on this team.
Right. And so, you know, another 3 sacks for this team today. Jeffrey Simmons, Bud, and Walker get a sack. And if there's anything else they can take back and complain about, a nitpick on this team, not only that garbage touchdown, but 6 penalties again today, guys. Still too many for this football team. And you know, like you said, we had an opportunity to get 2 more turnovers. We got 1 turnover. Bayer dropped a pick right off a tip ball. Right. I'm like, dude. All right, so, but 34 minutes of time possession, man. So a good dominant football game for this team overall. Again, the third down defense was phenomenal today. 2 of 14 given up, and so you gotta love that, man. And again, the tackling was excellent. And so let's talk about the special teams, man, because I thought the coverage today was great. Stonehouse, of course, he's another candidate for Rookie of the Year. If they had a punter win Rookie of the Year, this would be the first time. Right. This would be the first time.
Averaging 50 yards a punt.
A punt.
Man, let's give it up for Haskins today on special teams.
Man, that was for the
tackling.
So what I like about Haskins, again, and this is where, you know, the makeup of a Vrabel team. You've got Haskins, who could probably be the second running back of any team in the league. Hey, probably starting for some. And to earn your keep on this team, you know, as a third running back, you got to play special teams. Right. And he was, not only was he tackling, he was laying that hat on the players' heads, but great coverage by him. And just seeing all the rookies, I think Monty Rice is a big key in special teams, just an attitude. If you look at our kick coverage and punt coverage team, they're playing more with an attitude on special teams. And again, I heard Vrabel say it last week on his show, and he's got a point. Your special teams basically is starting to drive for your offensive defense, whether it's kick return or punt return. So you've got to set the tone. So seeing them, man, I thought coverage was great. Robert Woods, he was due a fumble, because just how he holds the ball on the return. I know he's a veteran. It's kind of savvy. He was due one, but you like to see him kind of make that up. And then we had one that gave us great field position. But overall, man, Stonehouse, you like this. I think he dropped one inside the 20 that was like on the 9 somewhere in there. It was kind of a directional kick. So you can see that he's constantly working on things we talked about in week 1 till now. He's working on hang time and directional punting.
Right. And then Slim Randy, you know, he missed the field goal twice. Even after getting 5 yards moved up. And so we've got to correct that, man. But like you said, the coverage for the special team was phenomenal. And I mean, when you got a punter that can constantly flip the field that way, man, you put your defense in a better position to overcome some shortcomings by your offense, man. It just makes a world of difference. And so you got it. Go ahead, G.
And I was just going to reiterate what Jay Lou just said with Vrabel. You know, he was repeating with Vrabel, like your special team sets the tone really for your offense and your defense. And I mean, when you got a punter who's flipping the field like that and able to allow you to pin them an opponent deep in their home territory, that gives you a lot more leeway with your defense and what you can do and what you can't, and it gives them a lot more opportunity to really push the pocket, to try to shut them down 3 and get the ball back. I mean, there was a lot of 3 and outs today, so you know you got to like that. And you know, it's just, I would say this: I was worried about the punting unit, you know, when we decided to let Brett Kern go. But I have to say now, generally, I'm like, okay, if we got a punt, that may help. I always look at it as a positive, because it may help our defense get the ball right back and get us better field position. Because as we know, and we've seen over these past 7 games, Todd Downing is not the one who's really moving the ball for this offense with his play calling and everything. And a lot of times it seems like he has to get, they say running backs have to get warmed up and to be running. Todd Downing looks like he has to get warmed up on his play calling, because when he starts out with, he's stuck in the mud, man. It's bad. But overall, like you said, you know, even coming out at halftime, they made a conscious decision. We're just going to run the ball.
Right.
You know, we're running the ball. We're going to run the ball. We're going to pound it down the throat. And I was surprised they did that. And then when you get a chance to go up 21-3, you get a third down, you just had to revert back. You just had to revert back. Couldn't run the ball.
It's almost like he get allergic to the running football.
He was.
It's like he's got Al Davis in his ear. It's like throw the ball. I'm like, dude, you're running the ball successful. Give it to your running backs and let them. If they make it, fine. If they don't, fine. But at least Houston was not wanting to see another running back come at them on that drive
at all.
I think they were done tackling in the second quarter.
Yeah, yes.
They didn't want to see him running back. Man, I'm just telling you, man, that's just one of those crazy things that, tied down. And again, like we said, sometimes he gets in his own way. He really gets in his own way.
Well, guys, so let's just take a look around the AFC South standings now. The Titans moved to 5-2. The Colts lose today to the Commanders. Commanders come back and beat the Colts 17-16. The Jags lose to the Broncos 21-17, of course, and the Texans lose. So as we stand now, Titans 5-2 got a nice, good lead in the AFC South. So, guys, let's roll over to next week, man. Here starts the Green Mile. We talked about this during our schedule review show, and Will started off, man, early on in the chat. He said we got to get some help on the offense as we go into the Green Mile portion. So here it is, guys. We start off with the Chiefs Sunday night at the Chiefs Stadium. It's going to be a raucous crowd. You got a team averaging 31 points, almost 32 points a game, giving up 24, and they're their fourth rushing defense in the NFL currently. And so on the bye week this week, so they got an extra week to prepare for us. But I did see today that Frank Clark got suspended for 2 games. And so they'll be missing him on that front four. But again, it's Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes. And I think somebody was saying that they don't want to hear Chris. It was weird. He said he don't want to hear Chris Collinsworth drool over Mahomes next Sunday night.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, gosh.
But you gotta remember that they do have incentive for the beatdown that we gave them last season.
Oh, yeah. It's a revenge game for them.
Yeah, it's a revenge game, man. They're coming back with a revenge game. But I don't know. Like I said, we got to just play defensively. We just got to do what we do. Stop the run. And I think if we got Hooker playing and we got everybody on the outside, and we can get somebody to cover Travis Kelce, I think we could actually play. I will say this. I know we can play them close if we do that.
You saw Lonnie Johnson line up at safety today, and I think that's after Hooker went out. And so you saw him playing today. I think we got somebody that could do it in Lonnie Johnson, or I mean, even if you put Hooker might be too small. But we'll see. I think if you look at the Chiefs' offensive line that they invested so heavily in, they're having a problem protecting Mahomes this year, and so we might have an opportunity there to make some noise in that backfield. J. Lou and they got some good added Kadarius Toney. As they traded for him. Of course, he's having a hamstring issue right now, so he might be ready for us next week, man. But it's gonna be a tough game. Either way you look at it, the secondary is gonna be tested early.
We have the recipe with that front four, because you put 7 back there and make Mahomes hold it a little bit, but you can get pressure with your front four. And I think this is a game, to your point about the offensive line, that you might not see Big Jeff practice just to keep him healthier, and then he go out there Sunday night when the bright lights are on and he just goes crazy. Kelce, as phenomenal as Kelce is, and I think he's top 3 tight end in the league by far. He's timid if you hit him. And this is not, Sip knocked him out. So this is not a game where I feel like you hit him. You hit him as he's coming off the line. You hit him when he's jamming. Because I feel like he's the type of player, you put enough hits on him. He doesn't like that physicality to me. I just haven't seen that piece from him. Their defense, Chris Jones can be a monster, just like we got one on our side. He can be a monster on that other side. This is a game,
Brewer.
This is a game where I really hope that Torrey Carter's neck or whatever he's got going on, you need a fullback, because you need him to kind of give Derek a block or two. Swain ain't it. 86 tight end, he's not it either. You need a real fullback.
Daly ain't it.
You need a fullback to really give that. I mean, you know our game plan. We're gonna try to slow the game down and
Mhm.
play action passing depth. Now they don't have anybody on the. They don't have that Tyreek speed, so nobody can take the top off. But I do think you still
Hardman.
see. Well,
Yeah,
Hardman, yeah,
yeah.
I do still think you see a lot of too high safety from the
Oh,
Titans.
yeah.
That's why if
Yeah.
Hooker's back, if Hooker's back, Ed, and I know you said he's too small. I feel like you see Hooker either in the slot or you might see him kind of hybrid
Yeah.
over Kelsey, depending on what they do. But I don't think you see Kelsey get any free releases if he's on the line, whether that be Bud Dupree or the DN hitting him, whether it be a linebacker chipping him. I think they know that you hit him to get him off his that time and route, and I think that wears it down over time. But it's going to be a good game, and then we've got to stay keen on Clyde's hair coming out the backfield. They do a lot of check down runs, and he's dangerous in the screen game.
So and I was going to say the same thing, because the bottom line is the thing you got to be ready for with Kansas City when you play Patrick Mahomes, and everybody knows you got to be ready for the off schedule plays.
Yeah,
that's what's really going to happen. That's how Kelsey gets free. So when he goes off schedule, you got to make sure you press up against your man, and you can't worry about him running. The linebackers are gonna have to be the one to take care of, like you said, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and then the running back coming out the backfield, and including Mahomes, because Mahomes will run. But that's what's going to have to happen, because he's going to do a lot of off-schedule plays. But I'm just going to say this: the biggest thing that I'm looking to see if we'll get a Tim Kelly site.
Well,
because the last two games we have not seen him. I'm just going to put it out there. We have not seen him the last two games.
I think you see one this week. I think you do, because look what's on the line. So we've already lost to Buffalo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if we have any chance of getting the number one seed, we've got to beat Kansas City, right? We've got to beat the Bengals. And so we got to win those games coming down the stretch, those big games, especially in this Green Mile portion. And so, right now I agree. Rodney says he wishes we had Dane for this game. Yeah, I miss Dane Cruikshank too, man. This was his game to match up on Kelsey. You got Kansas City throwing 400 yards a game passing, over 100 yards rushing, and so they can run the ball if need to. And so it's just gonna be a tough game. Like I said, the crowd is Sunday night, is primetime television, and to your point, G Witt, they are looking to pay us back from that beatdown that we gave them here last season. And so it's one thing too, guys, you guys mentioned it about the check down. It's one thing that the Chiefs have done to change their game. So used to that down the field, big shots, but Buffalo showed how to play them with those two high safeties, and so they do a lot of check downs, which can be frustrating if you're a defender trying to come up and make those tackles all the time. But hey, you can live with those things. You just can't give up the big chunk plays. And I think this defense has done a good job the past few weeks of eliminating those chunk plays, not like we've seen previously in the season. And so
this is a game where I want to see more man-to-man press.
Yes.
Again, the Kansas City offense, and G Witt talked about off script, they're built on timing. If I'm bumping a receiver at the line, that gives Big Jeff half a second to get back there even more. So I think I don't want to see a lot of the 7 to 10 yard cushions to get to gonna blow by you. We got to be up in their face. And again, I think we got between Fulton and Roger, we got the corners that if they get beat, oh well, they got beat. But I think we got the corners that can play that physical type of DB that you would like to see. This in the past has given Kansas City problems.
Right. And now if you look at the stats, the Titans are number 2 to run defense. So
that doesn't surprise me.
I told you.
That doesn't surprise me.
And 11 in scoring. And so this team is really this team is making some big strides with this defense coming up, man. So man, what a great weekend coming up of football. The Green Mile starts, man. We talked about it in depth, and this is the beginning of that. You got some of the upper echelon teams in the NFL coming. You got Mahomes, you got Russell Wilson, you got all these Hall of Fame potential quarterbacks. You got Green Bay or Aaron Rodgers. So you got Joe Burrow. So I mean, this defense is going to be tested these next 4 weeks, and you just hope that I agree. Roddy said he hopes Vrabel has enough sense to let Tim Kelly call the plays. And so,
man. I was talking to my dad today, man, and I was like, really, I know Vrabel is not going to do it, but this is a similar situation he had. I compared it to what he had when Mariota was quarterback.
Mhm.
and he had to make that switch.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have to make that switch because you got an offense that really cannot score. And against some of these teams that you're getting ready to play in this Green Mile, you're gonna have to be able to score. Defensively, if you can drive the ball and score touchdowns and mix some field goals in as well, driving the ball, let your defense rest on the sideline, you got a chance to win them all. But if you don't do that, man, with the way Todd Downey's calling it these days, your offense ain't moving the ball, man.
At all.
We're not sure, Verge, about Tannehill's status next week. Hopefully, we hope. Not only did he have an ankle issue, he had an illness too, and so he might have been able to play if he wasn't sick. But I think they felt like they could beat Houston without him this week, simply because they was going to run the ball 80 times for the game.
Yeah. And like you said earlier in the broadcast, for all those fans who thought Malik should be playing right now, you automatically know next season is the earliest you want to really see him trying to take over, and then maybe.
Well, guys, man, I mean, prime time next Sunday night. It's gonna be an awesome game. I can't wait. And so, thank y'all for joining us tonight. It's our first live show on YouTube, man. So big things coming for Halftime Adjustments. We got some nice supporters here, our folks, our Facebook family that was following us over there, man. So thank y'all for coming out tonight and joining us on the show. Halftime Adjustment, guys, we made it through this first one so, without any glitches. And so hopefully, as we go along, man, it'll get better and better and better. But thank you guys again for joining us tonight. This is Halftime Adjustments. Eddie Arnell, G Wick, J Lo.
Yes, sir.
We out of here, man. Check us back. We'll be back next week. We're gonna wrap up that.